Hey you, it's me, dclaiche. You know that episode of Doctor Who that just came out today? It's called Flatline. Let's talk about it together. You and me. But first let's play a game!
Okay, so this week we're going to play the Flatline. I got my wonderful pistachio, so let's get cracking. And no, they did not pay me to say that. But I wish they did, because I really love pistachios. Okay, let's go. So, first of all, TARDIS teasers. Also, again, with the short amount of questions. Well, at least this video will be shorter to edit, so let's go. But, I don't know. What was the name of the so-called 10th planet? Mondus. That was the planet of the Cybermen. Because it was the first time the Cybermen were ever shown. Susan was one of the Doctor's early traveling companions. But how were they related? She was his granddaughter. His sister, wife, his aunt. That would be really crazy. Complete the story name, the end of everything, the end of the road, the end of the line. All those would make very, very good story names, but it's the end of time. Which is still a really good story name. I'm going to open these pistachios while I read the next question. In The Sound of Drums, what was the name of the Master's wife? Her name was Lucy. Lucy Saxon. Oh no. I just spilled pistachios all over the place. Come on. Okay. Where in Scotland did we first meet the I don't know. Is it Loch Ness? It was Loch Ness. Oh, so that's what Sarah Jane meant when she said she met the Loch Ness Monster. Okay. So, I scored 50 out of 50 in TARDIS teasers. Now let's move on. See if I can actually get 100%. What creature tried to stop Donna from turning left by creating an alternate timeline? A Kronos cricket? I think it's a time beetle. Yeah, no, a Kronos cricket actually sounds very possible. What is the name of the thief in Planet of the Dead? Lady something. Lady Catherine. Lady Catherine. No, it's Lady Christina. No 100% for me. The Silver Devastation? That's a thing. That's one of the things that the Master talked about. Silver Menace, Silver Devastation. No, it's Silver Nemesis. I thought it was Nightmare in Silver. Where did Jack Harkness come from? The Beauchene Peninsula. Beauchene Peninsula. He's the face of Bo. Having left the Doctor, which companion returned in Partners in Crime? Donna Noble, my favorite companion so far. She's just awesome. She's so sassy. She leaves the Doctor in just the saddest way. Not going to spoil it if you haven't watched it, but let's continue to round 3. Okay, so why did people take pills from adipose industries? To lose weight. To make themselves smarter. To get a tan! Yeah! Alright, tanning pills. That actually kind of rolls off the tongue. What is the name of Gallifrey's second city? Arcadia? Oh. Well, I haven't heard of any of the other ones, so I just figured Arcadia. Okay, complete the story name. The power of the Daleks? The Daleks. That's an actual one. I know that one. Seems like all the old episodes that I've watched are all just like the major ones, like the Dalek ones and the Cybermen ones. I really need to start watching all of them, but I can't because Netflix only has a few of them. In the gaze of Harold Saxon, the Master created a satellite network, the Archangel Network. GPS. The Master created GPS. According to the Shakespeare Code, what was the sequel to Love's Labour's Lost? Love's Labour's 1? Okay. Round 4. Let's begin. In Kill the Moon, what was the name of the Coe-Hill schoolgirl? Her name was Courtney. Or from where did the Doctor steal the moment? The Omega Arsenal. Come on, that's a 50th anniversary episode. I've watched that more times than any of the other ones. Complete the story name. The Web of the Spider. Well, that's the only one that makes the most sense. Or what? There's not an episode called The Web of the Spider? Stephen Moffat, get on that, but, let's see. I think it's Fear. Stephen Moffat, get on The Web of the Spider. I doubt that anybody will ever watch that. What stops people from lying in the town of Christmas? The Truth Police. A truth field. A very strict school teacher. I don't think that would work either. I've had very strict school teachers, and all the students would keep on lying. Where does Wilf Noble do his stargazing? He does it in the garden. It is allotment. What is an allotment? I don't even know what that is. How am I supposed to get it right? Do I need to look it up in the dictionary? I forgot. I can look things up instantly by pushing. Yeah. Oh no, I can't do it here. So it wouldn't have worked anyways. Oh well. Okay, let's play round 5. Which story featured a stained glass window with an image of the TARDIS? I know it wasn't the end of time. I think it was the visitation. It was the... Where did that come in? Glass window, image of the TARDIS. Oh, I don't remember that. Somebody show me where that is. In the Shakespeare Code, the 10th Doctor gives Martha a toothbrush, but what does it contain? Venusians. Hey! Spearmint. I believe the Spearhead from Space. That was one of the ones that I actually did watch. That's the Third Doctor's first episode. The Third Doctor was so awesome. And the Minnesota, the last day, what was protecting Gallifrey from a Dalek attack? Nothing, because the Daleks got through anyways, but sky trenches. Yeah. Wilf Noble's pensions. I don't even know what they're called. Wait, they're actually called something? Is it Pension Patrol? The Silver... When is that ever revealed? When does he ever say what the name is? I dropped the pistachio. No. When does he ever say that? Seriously, like, I've watched End of Time over and over and over again. I don't remember all these things. Okay, well, anyways. I finished the quiz, so let's talk about this episode, baby.
Flatline. Okay, so I watched the BBC's previews on YouTube for this episode, and I gotta say, I was fairly interested. I mean, the TARDIS just shrinking down into something. It's just ridiculous. It's so awesome. So anyways, this episode begins with the Doctor bringing Clara back home from some adventure that they went on, and when they get there, they find that the door leading outside is smaller. That's because the TARDIS on the outside is now smaller. So something's gone wrong! So at first when the TARDIS shrinks, it's about the size of this thing. The door's still big enough so the Doctor and Clara can kind of shimmy their way out. I think it would have been a little bit easier for the Doctor if he had opened the second door. I mean, come on, this isn't classic Who. We know that that door can open. But the Doctor comes to the conclusion that something is messing with the dimensions of his TARDIS, which means that something is playing with dimensions altogether. Now that is some Sherlock observations right there. So he sends Clara off to investigate for whatever reason. He claims it's because he has to go back inside the TARDIS and he doesn't exactly want her to get squished should it shrink again. But the TARDIS is kind of bigger on the inside, so she wouldn't be squished. So Clara goes off and she finds this subway where there are a bunch of murals of people that died in strange disappearings, along with a couple of other guys who are trying to clean up other murals that are pretty much just graffiti. And the murals of the people who died are extremely realistic. But Clara pays no mind to that. She meets up with a guy that I don't remember the name of. I just watched the episode, please don't get mad at me. And then after that she goes back to the TARDIS only to find that it's been shrunk down to about the size of this. But of course the Doctor on the inside is the exact same size, so he can't get out the door. Which leads to some pretty funny moments. So Clara puts the TARDIS in her purse. Never thought I'd ever say that. The Doctor gives her his sonic screwdriver and psychic paper, and she basically takes it as she's being him now. So all throughout the episode, she's kind of giving the Doctor a taste of what he sounds like. I really should not have brought these things in here, they're distracting me. So they meet up with the graffiti dude, and they go to one of the places where somebody was killed. And all the while, Clara is trying to pretend to be the Doctor. So naturally, she kind of scares Graffiti Dude. And yes, that's what I'm going to call him from now on. So eventually she has to pull out the TARDIS and explain exactly what's going on. They call up the police, a policewoman comes over and tries to help them, and she gets sucked into the second dimension of the floor. Clara and Graffiti Dude hear her screaming, they run into the room, she's not there. But what is there is a mural on the wall that the Doctor recognizes as the nervous system of a human being. So he comes to the conclusion that the people that are performing all of these murders live in a two-dimensional universe. That they are attempting to understand the third-dimensional universe, trying to learn about it, not realizing that they are hurting us, not realizing that we need 3 dimensions to live. And yes, I know that I'm totally quoting off the Doctor, but what better way to explain a story than to actually have the person who was in the story explain it? In that case, I should just get Peter Capaldi to do these reviews. And what happens as soon as they realize that? They are immediately under attack by the 2-dimensional creatures. Meanwhile, guess who decides to call Clara? Old Danny Boy! She tries to lie to him that everything's okay, and she's not in any danger, but she fails miserably. Because of a lot of crashing, and glass breaking, and screaming, and sonicking. Yeah, where else would that noise come from? But then she hangs up, and the Danny problem is never resolved. Just talked about later on by the Doctor and Clara for a short period of time. So I'm pretty sure that by now Danny is running the streets rampant trying to find her. And when he sees her, I don't imagine he's gonna be too happy. Anyways, Clara and Graffiti Dude meet up with all the other guys that Graffiti Dude was working with. They tell them about what's going on. And then the murals of the people that died come to life. So what do they do next? They run into a subway system. Smart, because in the subway system only the 3rd dimension exists. They go running into the subway system, and obviously the creatures catch up. But not only have they caught up, apparently they've learned enough about 3 dimensions to be able to go into them. What do? Yeah, they start attacking. Yeah, they were not curious, they were just monsters. Again, if the story ended up with them actually just being curious creatures, the Doctor would have thought them as monsters anyways. They start running, and then Mr. Grumpy Idiot Dude, who's tired of Clara talking to the Doctor, smacks the TARDIS out of her hands and it falls down onto a railroad track. And there's a train coming. Now the Doctor somewhat manages to inch his way over to the other side. Which is probably the funniest thing that I've ever seen. But he can't get out in time, so what he decides to do is send the TARDIS into siege mode. Which means that there is no way in, and there is also no way out. Also, because the TARDIS is so small, there's not enough power to take it out of siege mode. And because of this, Clara cannot hear him on her little ear device. Actually, no, I take that back, she could hear him. But anyway, she takes the TARDIS cube thing to another room where she realizes that she's basically on her own. And she remembers that the Doctor says the TARDIS needs enough power in order to get itself back to its normal size. So I don't know how she figures this out, but she puts the TARDIS on a door, which is blocking the creatures from getting to them. And she does some sort of fancy trick with a piece of paper. I personally kind of forget exactly what she did, but she somehow got the door to be put into the two-dimensional realm inside of a piece of paper, which somehow gave the TARDIS enough energy to resize itself. The Doctor comes out and gives a super epic speech to the creatures, calling them monsters, and then uses the TARDIS super dimensioning powers to banish them back into the second dimension. Yeah, I think it's kind of obvious that I didn't quite understand this episode yet. Maybe Big Guy 1028 could explain it to me. Yeah, that's right, I see you commenting. Thank you, because without your comments, I might have not been able to understand the last episode. So maybe you could help me with this one. By the way, go subscribe to that guy, Big Guy 28, just because I feel like being nice. So anyways, the Doctor and Clara leave, and then guess who makes another appearance? Missy! So basically, she's looking at Clara on an iPad, and she says, "Oh, my Clara, I chose you well, didn't I?" So this was a good episode. I give it a good 4.1 stars out of 5. What did you guys think? I thought it was cool. Also, this was not the first time that the TARDIS has been shrunken. I think that the first time that ever happened was... Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this review, and if you didn't, there's a dislike button down there for you to click on and tell me that you didn't like this video, but don't do it, because if you do, I'm gonna come find you, and I'm gonna... I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do anything. You're entitled to your own opinion. But if you did like this video, then click the like button. And if you want to see more, then click the subscribe button. Because I be doing this every single Sunday, boy. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. And this is dclaiche saying goodbye. Good time. Just give me a call. Don't stop me now. Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time. I don't wanna stop at all.